Hey, what's up guys? My name is Cameron Gallagher and today we're going to be looking at an awesome raw clip from the Sony FS700 with the Odyssey 7Q recorder, and it's also shot in Anamorphic, and it is just a bunch of awesomeness. So let's get to it. Alright, so this clip today was shot by Eric Clayborn of Digital Dub Media. You should definitely go check out their Vimeo. Just go follow Eric. I'm going to leave a lot of the social links for him down below. Does some really amazing work and some really amazing shots with the Sony FS700 and Odyssey 7Q, which I think is a really cool combo that no one seems to be talking about anymore. You know, we're so wrapped up in, Blackmagic's cameras, which are, obviously great, and Airy and Red, and I really think that the Sony FS700 is a definitely probably one of the most underrated cameras that you can buy out there, especially with the attachment of the Odyssey 7Q. You have an amazing monitor and 4K recording combo with it. Shoots raw, and I believe you can shoot up to like 960 frames. Granted, like they're burst modes, but again, that's just really awesome. So anyway, today we're going to be looking at some 1.3 anamorphic 4K raw footage from the Sony FS700. And what I'm going to be doing is bringing into a timeline here in DaVinci Resolve and showing you some really basic color grades and kind of how you import that and how you can work with that. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your panel up here and your media panel. You're going to go in, you're going to find where your clip is, and you're going to click and drag to your clips. Click change. Click on your edit tab. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go up here to file and project settings. But I would say your best bet is to do the DCI scope 231. So what that would be is the true anamorphic cinema scope, something that you would send out to a to a projector if it was to be played at some type of a movie theater or something like that. But anyway, that is the true anamorphic scope, and it's also what allows us to do anamorphic with the 1.3 adapter. So I believe he used the Anamorphic adapter, which is a 1.3 times squeeze, and basically what that does is it takes your 16:9 and it changes it to a 2.39 to 1 aspect ratio, which is again the cinema aspect ratio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this down here, this clip, and as we can see, this is not de-squeezed yet. You can see it's a little elongated, and obviously it's not filling the frame. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click, blip attributes, where is it? There it is. And we're going to go to pixel aspect ratio. Now instead of changing it from square, we're going to go to 1.3 anamorphic. And of course, if you had a different anamorphic lens or adapter, you could always change it to that. Click OK, and boom, there we go. Now this was shot in slow motion. I'm not 100% sure what frame rate it was, but it obviously looks amazing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the color tab. And we're going to go over here to our camera raw settings. We're going to change this to clip decoding using. So what this is going to do is instead of making this just a basic Rec 709, we're going to bring it back to its original color space. We're going to be able to utilize the raw color space. We're going to change our color space to Blackmagic Design, and this again allows us for that nice flat raw image. And again, we can change some things right here. So if we wanted to bring down the highlights, we could do that right in here. Personally, I don't like to do that, but again, it's all on personal preference and what you like to do. So we're going to go to the wheels here, and I think this shot is a perfect example of how not to over color grade something. Eric did an amazing job at exposing this image, at shooting this just really perfectly. So one of the biggest things is as a color grading artist or someone who is going to grade something, sometimes you have to learn that there are situations that you don't want to overgrade something. This would not look good with that super orange and teal, look that everyone likes. And it would really not look good with a really cinematic, punchy, image. Granted, for different content, that may look good, but for something like this where it's it's nature and it's very elegant and beautiful looking, you want it to look that way. You want it to be very basic. So I kind of want to show you guys what a basic grade on something like this is, and the advantage of obviously shooting raw, but at the same time not over color grading. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we should take away from this video and a lot of other videos is sometimes it's all about shooting it in camera, and Eric did a perfect job at that. He shot this perfectly in camera, which allows someone like me who, if I was grading this for a client or something, makes it a million times easier. So what we're going to do is I'm gonna make this big here. Now we're working on the first node, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use curves for this because I want to make a really nice S curve and kind of work with that. So I'm gonna grab a point just right about there, you know, about probably almost all the way down. Now this is gonna be our contrast. As you can see, this is gonna be our shadows. Now to me, I think it'd be really cool because I want this is how you can kind of see where your shadows are gonna be. I don't want to lose detail up here in the eye or in the body. Granted, we could always change that, but I don't want to lose any of that detail. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring this down to about, I'm going to drag this down a little bit lower to about there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag about here and bring this up just a touch, not too much. And I might make another point up here and drag that even higher. Now this looks a little bit too contrasty, so let's leave it right about there. So you can see we have a nice, very smooth S curve. And again, we're going to do some more work to this after. Now what I'm going to do, just to see, is I'm going to boost our saturation up to 100%. Again, this is a clip that, to me, you want to be at that. Let's go over here and check out our waveform monitor. So as we can see, we're definitely not very bright, especially in our highlights, which we'd probably want to be up and around, you know, close to, you know, on DSLRs, this is probably what it would look like. But again, we don't want that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to bring this down. I want this to look nice. Let's bring it right about. So right now I'm using our gain. I like it right about there. That looks really nice. To me, again, it's nice and bright in the background, but it's not too much. Let's bring up our mids just a touch. Let's bring those shadows back down. We want to really bring those back down. You know, we might even bring our gain down just a touch. All right, now to me, that looks really cool. But again, the thing about this clip is to me it seems a little too blue. We really want to bring out these, you know, beautiful sunset, this really nice orange and yellow and those colors coming through. So what we'll do is let's make this smaller again. Alt S. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to now make sure this node is selected. Make this bigger again. And I'm thinking that I want to push a little bit of magenta and red and that orange into some of these. Let's see. Ooh, that'll look really nice. So we're pushing a little towards magenta, but we're still making sure we have that nice cool blue. So I'm going to bring that blue just a hair down. So what it is on the lift and the shadows, I brought down the blue just a touch, and the mids the mids and the highs I brought towards the, you know, kind of pink and violet color, I guess. Whoops. Well, you know what, let's reset these quick. So I'm going to bring those highlights up towards that orangey pink, medium, or midtones, excuse me, as well, and bring our lows down just a touch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our, I'm going to actually click Alt S, make a new node that we can see. Make this big again. And I'm going to go to our curves, and I'm going to go down to a luma versus saturation. Drop down this bottom here. So what this is doing is this is desaturating our shadows. That way our dark areas aren't too overdone. I might push that even a little further. Here we go. So now what that last node is doing is that is making sure that anything, a great way to someone put it is blacks are pure black. Blacks do not have color. So the problem is I want to make sure that the pure black does not have color. So if we go to our parade, we should see that anything down here is pure black. There should be no color. Go back to our waveform monitor, and this looks pretty good. I might want to add a little more contrast. What I'll do is I'll actually bring the blacks down just a touch deeper, but bring those up just a hint more. Awesome. Now I think that looks really, really cool. Now, of course, you could do a less contrasty version of this. And again, as you can see, this is a very simple grade. There's nothing too over the top about it. But let's go back and let's try something. We could delete these nodes. Delete that one. Let's reset these. And we could do a little more, less contrasty version of this. So we could do something. Let's turn that saturation up so we can see that. That looks really nice. So let's bring our shadows up actually and bring our mid-tones down, and then let's bring those highlights nice and far up there. So something like this. This is a trick I learned, that bringing your midtones down and your shadows up makes a nice, less contrasty image. You know, which obviously you have the problem of your colors aren't popping as much. But what we can do is click Alt S, make this bigger again. Let's add a little more saturation. No, that's a little too much. Let's bring those a little warmer, more towards yellow, those midtones. I still want to bring those blues down. I don't know. I kind of like it a little warm. Well, we'll bring it down. Then what we'll do is we're going to click Alt S again, and now on this third node, we're going to do Lumiverse Saturation once more, and drag that guy up just like that. And this is, again, this is a little more or less contrasty version. If you wanted a little more of a flatter image, you could always, if you wanted to, just come back to this and you could add a slight curve to it, so it bows down just a little bit. And again, that's a really nice look too. You know, it's a little bit of a different look, but it's something that may work best for the client. And that's the thing in the end, is if you're doing this for a client, in the end, whatever looks best for the job, whatever looks best for that client is what you need. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think it was really cool. I want to thank Eric for sending that over to me. You know, an absolutely amazing shot. It was really awesome to be able to color grade it in RAW. He's going to be sending me some more shots I'm going to get to play with, so that'll be really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. I'd love for you guys to subscribe. I have tons more coming up. I'm working on a few more short films. We're going to be possibly shooting on some red cameras, some different things like that. Again, I have more of Eric's Clayborn stuff coming my way. Make sure to go check out him on all his social media links down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned something, and if you have any requests for videos, please comment those down below as well, or you can send me a message on Facebook, Twitter, anything like that. I'd love to kind of know what you guys want to learn. Alright guys, hope you guys have a good one.